Wow.
I onboarded 2 clients last week, and they have opened up 2 new services that I wasn't even thinking about. Going, what we just discussed, and then also this
Yeah.
sort of live stream producer, live video producer that I absolutely love because I love live streaming and to kind of just like relax and be behind the scenes a little bit and doing like the
Mhm.
graphics and the B-roll and the intro, outro, stuff like that, which I love. So yeah, it again, if you're just open to kind of that flexibility and learning new
Mhm.
things as yourself to then offer to other people, it's amazing.
Welcome to Unplugged, the tech podcast for digital entrepreneurs. I am one of your hosts, Brooke, the founder of the Sober Biz Collective.
Hey, podcasters. I'm Nate Kelly, best-selling author and founder of Pod Studio. If you're looking for tips, tools, and tech on how to utilize podcasting for your business, you're in the right spot. Let's get unplugged.
I just noticed that you're using a different microphone today.
Well,
Back to Old Faithful.
This is Old Faithful, and the one boom arm that I reviewed only because so I'm producing a live talk show for a new client of mine, Emergo Academy. It's like a recovery coaching and like they offer interventions. They do in-person like seminars and masterminds. They just wrote a book that's doing really well. It's a husband and wife duo. They're in Calgary, actually.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Wait, I think maybe I sent an introduction email, or was I going to send an introduction email to you and to them? Maybe it's in my drafts. But yeah, they're super fun. They're like I don't know if like they came up with it, but it's kind of like a brain first approach to recovery. So
Mm.
it's very much about the neuroplasticity. Reminds me a lot of Jill, actually.
Oh,
That's
cool.
overpowered.
Yeah.
But they started a weekly sort of like call in live stream, Emergo TV, and I'm producing it for them via StreamYard because I love StreamYard. And I needed to use my other boom arm. Like I put a monitor on the
Ah.
Elgato low profile so I could have like an additional monitor for my camera or for like slides or documents that we're using. So I pulled this old trusty out of the garbage. No, I'm just kidding. It was down in the basement. And it works better with the Samsung Q2U. So I just put the old faithful back on and here we are.
So what's your Rode Pod mic doing now?
She is I kind of have like like a wall of technology, like kind of as decoration, kind of as kind of like you, like behind you, how you had like your headphones and things like hanging
Yeah.
aesthetically, but normally I would probably have it somewhere arranged here, but since I'm at my sister's and I don't really have like all the space that I would want,
Yeah.
it's upstairs in the other room. So she's just resting for the time being.
Just taking a break.
Taking a break.
We all need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So how are you liking do you notice a difference between the 2 mics at all, or do you think they're pretty similar in quality?
I don't know if I've just used this microphone for so long and I became um, just used to the way that my voice sounds on finalized episodes.
Yeah.
But like when I go back and edit the sobriety diaries or even with unplugged episodes, with the Rode Pod mic, it sounds more like trebly to me, like up
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
Whereas for some reason, the Samsung Q2U, I think, sounds more of like full bodied and more
Mhm.
like deep, not deep. I don't think like I have a deep voice, but just like in headphones, it sounds better. I think there's just more of a full sound for my
Oh, very
voice, at
cool.
least with the Samsung.
Yeah. I notice anything that has this like fuzzy cover all over
Yeah.
it, it
Yeah.
seems to give, it seems to take away some of that kind of
Yeah.
highs, the treble. Yeah. The
I think you're
tinny. I
right.
don't, I
The
call it tinny
tinniness.
because that's
Yeah.
what,
Tinny.
yeah. 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 So it might be worth seeing if you can throw something on the mic and see if it helps with that.
Yep.
Um,
Good
I
point.
found the Rode NT1A was also very much like that, but it was also, you got the whole room's
Yeah.
noise in with you,
Wait,
and it
is
was
that the
a
one?
beautiful mic.
Does it stand like upright and you speak into the front of it?
Yeah.
Or okay.
It's like it's a vocal mic, like,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
singers, but it's a really good one. It just, yeah, it was definitely, well, I guess I could have changed the highs and lows and stuff and settings on your board as well if you wanna get,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
better lows and stuff, but if you're just plugging into your computer, then it's nice to have something that you like.
So speaking of clients, so I just
Yeah.
onboarded another new client for my 6-month mentorship, the podcast launch accelerator. So that is fully personalized planning, marketing, production. He's brand new to podcasting. So we're starting with like audio, the basics of audio and like plugging in a microphone. Like we're starting from scratch. And
Wow.
he sent me an email and said, "Hey, would you ever consider like flying down and helping me set up my home studio as well?" And I was like, well, there would be an additional cost to that. But yes. And I mean, like, that would be amazing. Like, I could create content for myself and like coaching while I'm there with him. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about pricing and we'll see what we can come up with. So uh, we chatted and came up with an agreement, and I'm flying down to Huntsville, Alabama next weekend to set up his home studio. We are going to an audio. I don't think it's Guitar World, but it's similar to Guitar World to get equipment and acoustic panels and equipment and setting up his home studio, which is like his finished basement that looks so sick. I
Oh
can't
my
wait to set up
gosh.
his home studio. But yeah, I mean, like, who would have thought that this would be possible for me as a new entrepreneur heading down to Alabama to help my new client set up his home studio? Super pumped.
What a
I know.
dream.
I know. I'm so excited.
Wow. So Alabama.
Alabama. That's like south. I don't know. How are your United States geographics?
So what I know about Alabama, I learned on the movie called Sweet Home Alabama with
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon.
The classic Sweet Home Alabama. Well, that's accurate. Very Southern, very country, more just kinda like simple way of life.
Yeah.
Um, he is one of the top real estate agents in, Eastern Alabama. So he is creating a podcast around that, and
Beautiful.
yeah, we're gonna go to some of his properties. We're gonna get some B-roll. We're gonna set up his home studio. It's gonna be super fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's incredible. I I love that evolution of, like, we start as digital entrepreneurs and then things come
Right.
and it changes and it evolves and grows. And if you're open to that experience, like, this could be a completely new avenue for you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I onboarded 2 clients last week, and they have opened up 2 new services that I wasn't even thinking about. Going, what we just discussed, and then also this
Yeah.
sort of live stream producer, live video producer that I absolutely love because I love live streaming and to kind of just like relax and be behind the scenes a little bit and doing like the
Mhm.
graphics and the B-roll and the intro, outro, stuff like that, which I love. So yeah, it again, if you're just open to kind of that flexibility and learning new
Mhm.
things as yourself to then offer to other people. It's amazing.
That's incredible. When you're doing the live stream producing, do you edit the videos afterwards, or is it just live and then
Yeah.
that's how it ends up on the podcast?
So we do it live, and then I'll break out probably 2 or 3, maybe like 8 to 10-minute videos, kind of package them as their own YouTube videos,
I
put them
love
on their
this.
channel. I'll pull maybe like 4 or 5 shorts for them for
Yeah,
that week. But yeah, I package different parts of the live stream as their own individual videos.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I
I
love
love it,
it.
I love it. The thing I love about live streaming is it's kind of like it is what it is,
Yeah,
and it's super authentic and super just, like, raw, and people aren't expecting it to be heavily edited and all that kinda stuff, you know? So
exactly.
you get to go to work, you get to do the thing, and then you're done, and then there's no, like, after,
Yeah.
hours editing, listening to a whole hour
And
conversation
they're
over again.
Yeah, exactly, and they're so good. They're, like, on it. They're
Yay!
both public speakers. They're, like, on their feet, ready to go. No question trips them up. So it's like there's 0 editing as far as, like, flubs and that. The editing is just finding,
Awesome.
like, the best kind of, standalone clips to package for YouTube, which is cool.
Yeah. Have you tried out the CapCut AI Reels
Yes,
TikTok creator?
and
How do you like it?
I take back my earlier statement about CapCut Pro versus the free
Yeah,
version because I reinvested in the Pro last week
me too.
with these, and I stand corrected because there are certainly features that are offered on the Pro that are a game changer. And yes, the AI, um, a few different AI options that are just phenomenal, and that probably saved me 5 hours of editing last week minimum.
Yeah.
So yes, I stand corrected on CapCut Pro.
Let's give some grace to, Nate from several weeks ago because CapCut Pro did not offer that feature when you said it wasn't worth it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I wondered if I was losing
Yeah.
my mind or if they were
It's
just
new.
introduced. Okay, good.
No, it's new. So they have a couple of new features. One is that they will create reels for you based out of longer form content with the click of a button. They put the captions on and everything. So that part I actually don't enjoy because you have to use their captions and I couldn't turn it off. And I had captions on my long video, and then the captions on my long video were still there, and then it put an overlay of
Oh,
captions, and I had to re-edit it, take out the old captions in order to get that to work for me. But again, I was doing work for Empower to Recover and creating reels from, like, hours of footage through an 8-hour event that was going on, right? So, can you even imagine how much time spending $20 a month on that
yes. Yes,
app has
please.
saved me?
Charge.
I think the other thing I think is not as new, but is editing through text. So you can do the script editing like you can do with Descript on there now,
Yes, I saw
which I
that.
found is really cool. And then they
Yes.
have some really neat like editing features where it tracks your head movements. That stuff was there before, but it's just getting better and better and better now. So
Yeah,
I think it's worth the investment. I've reinvested. I do it kind of month to month because sometimes I
me
have
too.
more client work than others. So
Yeah.
if I don't have client work, I'll just get shut her down. I don't need it
Shut her
that month.
down.
I have a hot tip for CapCut.
Love hot tips. Here it is.
Okay. So I like to edit CapCut on my desktop, but I also use my phone. And I noticed when I bought the pro version on desktop, it was not converting to my phone because I don't know, for whatever reason, my accounts aren't linked. However, if you click, there's like in the fine text when it says purchase your pro version, there's a little tiny option that says restore. If you click restore, you will be able to use your pro version on your phone. And then when you go back to your desktop version, again, you just click restore when you go to purchase it. Instead of purchasing it, you click restore and it'll restore to your desktop. So it's a little annoying that I can't get them to just communicate with each other, but that was a workaround that I found that worked for
Yes.
me.
Yeah, because I wondered, like, you know how CapCut just auto saves things and it keeps it like in your library. And
Yeah.
I wanted to like, because some things for me is just easier on my phone and with my thumbs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted it like when it auto saves and I close the desktop version, I want it to be available in this library right here so I can edit.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet. But I bet they're gonna figure it out soon because it's a very quick, rapid growing, like, evolving app. They really stay on top of the trends, and if there's things working on other apps, they implement them very quickly. I noticed, the Captions app is now offering AI music, which I think is gonna be the next move for CapCut because that is gonna be huge. One thing that's super frustrating with, like, monetizing your social media or YouTube is the copyright infringement stuff, so you
Yes.
can put all this time and effort into a video and then use, like, a royalty-free sound, but it's still copyright,
Yeah, what's
and
the
you can't
difference?
you
So
can't
why the
monetize.
fuck are we getting royalty-free music if I don't
So
get it.
sometimes you have to license music in order to use it to get monetization. So I can use it for personal reasons, but if I'm
Got
gonna make
it.
money off of it, then I have to license it. Um, but with AI music, then you can get royalty-free music that isn't that's it's unique. It's not
Yeah,
gonna be copywritten, like, no one's gonna come after you
no one's
for it.
ever heard it before.
You Yeah, YouTube's not gonna be like, "Hey, you."
Yeah,
So for third party whatever on your podcast as well, like, you don't have to click the third party button if you're generating your own AI music, right? So, I think it's gonna be huge. I think that's gonna be, like, the next big thing is, like, AI music, sound effects, things like that being
you heard it
generated
here
for
first,
content creators.
folks. Mark
Yeah,
Brooks'
that's my
word.
prediction. And I think CapCut's probably gonna be coming out with that soon because I'm just noticing the ads for it on captions, and CapCut seems to like to acquire tools that captions starts using first.
Oh, really? Is there a little bit of, competition there?
I mean, there is with everything. The reason we have Reels is because TikTok took
True.
over and just
True.
dominated, right? So they're all just copying each other and yeah. I bet eventually Facebook's gonna do it all.
Yeah, we're gonna end up full circle with only Facebook, like, just where we started.
Yeah. It is exhausting having so many apps on our phones. Like, I feel like enough is enough. Like, we don't
Enough is
need 15
enough.
different platforms to watch short form video.
No, and it's like one person, like, as a business owner, you want to have a presence, on most platforms at least, and it's literally impossible to engage on all platforms. It's like it's mind-boggling, it's frustrating, it's impossible,
Mhm.
frankly.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm
keep your head
I'm
up. You can do
I'm loving
it.
that AI is making it easier, and there's, like, a lot of tools that are helping, like, take that content and make it into content that'll be suitable for other, platforms, but I feel like the more tools we get to save time on all this stuff, the more is expected and the more platforms we end up posting on, and it just takes up so much time
It sure
and brain
does.
power, and when you're, like, running your own business, it feels exhausting, like, even with AI, I think social media is a job, like, on its own, you know, aside from
Oh, for
the
sure.
business you're already running. Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you look at a social media manager and then that's like, okay, well, they want, you know, probably 3K a month to
Mm.
manage your social media for you.
I am not
That,
charging
that
enough.
ain't that ain't gonna happen. Right. Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm hoping with this, like, template thing I've been talking about for 2 years. Once I implement this, once I sit down
Yeah,
and actually take the time, that will free up my time and space that I was utilizing with client work in order to focus on my social media and build that presence. And then what I can do is charge more for my one-on-one services because I really want to help a certain demographic of people that have like changed their lives and overcome something and are rebuilding and want to become an entrepreneur. And yeah, like I want to have something available for people that can afford to spend like 5 grand in a month. You know what I mean? So
right.
being able to offer those templates is going to help people have more access to my services and then allow me to charge what I'm actually worth
Yeah.
for doing one-on-one client work. And then I'd be able to afford the resources to outsource some help with other things that are exhausting,
Wow.
you know?
S
So
uh,
that's my plan. I
yeah,
just got to
that's the
figure out
plan.
to do it, just some time. Yeah.
Did you hear about the Jay Shetty controversy?
I did.
How upsetting.
I actually got in shit a little bit about a Jay Shetty thing.
Uh-oh, what happened?
So like months and months ago on his podcast, he had Spider-Man, Tom Holland, that Spider-Man
Yeah.
was on, and he was talking about not drinking and all that kind of stuff. So I was like really into this episode. And then he said something on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I wrote it down and then I shared it on social media later. And I was like, I'm adopting this thing, but I didn't credit Tom Holland for saying it. And Tom Holland didn't actually say it. Somebody else did. And then Tom Holland
Yeah,
was repeating
that's
what
it
that
just
person said.
circulates, right? That's
So the internet went mad.
oh
It
god, of
was
course
like,
they did.
"That's from a podcast. Nice, whatever." And I'm like, "I know, I put it in the
No
con the
shit.
the caption. It says, I heard this on a podcast." At the time, I couldn't remember what podcast because I just had, like, a note in my book of,
Yeah.
like, you know, if I could have remembered, I would have credited him. But the comments quickly reminded me who it was.
Oh god.
And it's funny because now Jay Shetty is getting in shit for, like, misrepresenting himself or not being, whatever.
Yeah, lying about a bunch of shit, man. That
It's a little
sucks.
it sucks so bad, I really liked him.
God.
I mean, can I still
I
really
I
like
didn't know
him?
that. Yeah, I think we can still like him. I don't know. Wait, have there been any episodes of the show since the controversy?
There have been, I just haven't heard any
Oh,
response to it
okay.
as of late. I don't listen to it, religiously,
I don't
so
either.
but it was like he lied about dates or something, or, like, how long he was a monk, or what was the
Yes,
dates?
the time that he spent as a monk, but also the um educate his educational background, like the universities
Mm.
that he credits, um, gave official statements saying like we have no record of Jay Shetty ever as a student, so like he may not even be qualified, you know, to the level that he says that he is.
Damn
I
it.
know. He's still smart as
How do you
fuck, like, just let him
Yeah,
be.
like, how do you think that you're gonna get away with
I
that stuff, though, when
know.
you're, like, like, quasi-famous online, putting yourself out there? Like, that
Right,
stuff's gonna come out, I would imagine.
right.
I am terrified of that day if I ever reach internet fame and, like, blackout Brooke, you know, there's a lot of things I don't remember.
Like, are guys that I hooked up with in, like, 2010 gonna start coming forward? Like, don't. I hope
Yeah,
not.
I'm just gonna cancel myself now.
Yeah, I know, for real. God.
That's why I really got comfortable being behind the scenes, because 'cause I'm like, I don't know what's gonna
Yeah,
I've done a lot of things I don't remember in
exactly.
my life. I swear I'm a good person at heart.
Right. I learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. I Do you feel like a different person now? Because I think about myself back then, and it's like it's not me. Like, it feels like like,
100%.
I've had a lot of software upgrades since then.
That is the best analogy that I've heard in a long time. Yes, I feel like a completely different person. I feel like I don't even like, I have a very good memory. Like, I remember, with the exception of blackouts here and there, but like overall, like everything back until probably like I can remember like being like around the 3 to 4. Like I can remember things that happened when I was 3 years old. Like my third birthday, I remember.
Wow.
Um, but with that being said, like I don't even relate really to that person. Um, I would say even after I got sober, I've gone
Mhm.
through a couple software updates for sure. Um, yeah, and I hope to continue to upgrade, I guess, forever.
Yeah. It's just weird how it feels like I don't know. Like, I even Facebook memories is why this is coming up for me today. So, I was,
Uh,
like, in my Facebook memories, and there's, like, this whole life I lived and friends I had and, things, and I just they're not a part of my life anymore, and the people I surround myself with are so different today, which I definitely think is part of entrepreneurship and finding success and doing these things, like, you really do start to gravitate towards people who are in the same mindset and doing the same things, or it gets way too hard to continue, right? Like, you really need that circle of people around you that are, you know, finding success in the area you wanna find success
right.
in. So, you naturally, like, evolve past certain friend groups and stuff, and when I got sober, that made a big difference as well on, like, who I was hanging out with, but, yeah, I look at them and I'm like, I really don't know these people at all anymore. Like, it just feels like a completely different life, a different timeline. Like,
Entrepreneurs, just remember, keep your head up. You know, you're doing the Lord's work. No, I don't know. That's weird how that came out. You're following you're following your dream, and you know, not a lot of people would have the courage to take that risk. So, you know, fight through it, and you will see the beauty in being able to, you know, live a life that you're kind of in charge of and that you can create. So,
mm,
very grateful for you, Brooke. Um,
you too, Nate. That was
yeah.
really profound.
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah.
had some up. We've been through it all this episode.
I love that when you're like, we're doing the Lord's work. I'm like, oh, his Alabama's coming out already.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube for all of our video content at Unplugged Tech Pod.
And join us in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/unplugged podcast. Also, make sure to throw us a 5-star review if you are finding this content valuable for you and your digital business. We accept all forms of reviews, Apple Podcasts, Spotify follows, YouTube telling your grandmother about us.
And make sure to share the episode with one person in your life who may find it valuable. And we'll see you next time on Unplugged.
I think it's good enough, and we're just going to keep getting better.